Welcome to the MediaDirect submission platform instruction video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a submission using the Tor browser and the MediaDirect submission platform. For those who don't know what the Tor browser is, it's a web browser that is designed to protect your privacy and allows you to remain relatively anonymous on the internet. So if you want to learn more about the Tor browser and you want to use it to make a submission to the MediaDirect system, you would want to visit the torproject.org. So we'll go there now. So this is the Tor website, and here you can get a bunch of information about what is Tor. And what we want to do today is download the Tor browser bundle. So to do that, we click Download Tor. And as you can see, it's detected the kind of operating system I'm using. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm using a Windows-based operating system. I believe it's Windows 7. And however, there are other versions available of Tor for the Mac, and if you use Linux, for Mac, it's installed just like you install any other piece of Mac software, and Linux users will probably be more adept at using it. So if you're using Windows like I am today, or Mac, you just click Download, and a dialog box will pop up, and you can save the file. I've actually downloaded one earlier, so I'm going to cancel that, but ordinarily you would click Save File. So over here you can see that I've downloaded the same file a bit earlier. And usually at this point what I would do is verify that the file has come from the Tor project, and I do this by checking the signature of the file. I'm not going to go through that process today for the purpose of this demo, as I don't want to confuse anyone, but I will go through the installation process for Tor. So over here is the file that you've downloaded, and I click on that and a dialog box pops up and I click Run. It will first prompt you to, I might just close this. It will first prompt you please select your language. This is an English language demo. I'll continue with English. I click OK. I've chosen the desktop as the place where I wish to install it. So I click Install, and as you can see, a folder's popped up on the desktop. So it goes through the process of installing, and then another dialog box pops up, and it asks me if I want to run the Tor browser, which I do. So I click Finish, and another dialog box has popped up. Now, this dialog box asks you a couple of questions. It asks you which of the following best describes your situation. The first is a straight connect. And that's for people who have a direct connection to the internet. However, if you're in a work type situation, which we advise you don't make submissions when you're at work, this setting is so that you can configure to get around any proxied or a firewall, for example. So you click configure, but today we have a direct internet connection, so I'm going to go ahead and click connect. As you can see, another Tor status dialog box has popped up. Oh, just ignore that noise. And it's establishing a connection to Tor. While that's doing that, and you'll notice that the Tor browser will pop up, I'm just going to go over to MediaDirect.org. And this is just the alternative browser, and I'm going to click blow the whistle, but I'm going to minimize that and come back to it. So here we go, we're at the Tor browser. It's just similar to a Firefox browser, except it accesses the Tor network. And as you can see, this browser is configured to use Tor. So you can test to see whether you connect to the network. So we'll just click the test button, and great, we're configured. It gives you your IP address, which is not the IP address of the internet connection that I'm using. Hence, anything that you connect to will see this and won't see your IP. So, okay, I'm going to go to the MediaDirect website. It may take some time to connect to the system. That's fine. The nature of the Tor system means that it's routing your traffic a bunch of different places, and often it takes time to reach your destination and then return. So we're at the MediaDirect website. As you can see, it's just loading all the graphics and whatnot, which takes a little bit longer using the Tor system. Now, we have a full guide here. It's where the video will be located. And so if you need to reach the submission guide, you just click the link up here. But what we want today is the submission system, and the way we can access it is via this link or by clicking below the whistle. So we click below the whistle, and it gives us two options. The first is the Tor link, and we ask people to copy and paste this link below into the address bar of the Tor browser. So if I open, I'm going to highlight that, and I'll right click on it, and I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to open up another tab, and I'm going to simply paste it in to the browser. And if I click enter, it should load the submission platform. So I've just got to wait for that to load, and there it goes. And it lets us know that it's accessed the GlobalX software and it's starting the submission system. So that's the way you'd use it if you were looking at the website from a different browser and you had to copy it and paste it into this browser, which is the Tor browser. Okay, but we're already using it. If you simply clicked the non-Tor link, the system would automatically revert to the submission platform, the Onion link. So that's the Tor link above. Whoop, I accidentally pressed Tor project. Okay, so we'll close that browser and we'll go to the GlobalX MediaDirect submission platform. So as you can see up the top here, it's let us know that we are connected to the Tor network. The submission platform detects whether or not you're using the Tor browser, and as I'll show you in a minute, if you're not, it's going to give you a warning that you're not entirely secure. So once again, we really urge people to use the Tor browser. As can be seen from my downloading and installing it, it's very, very simple to use, and it goes a long way to protect your anonymity. So we're at the submission platform, and we want to make a submission to one of the journalists connected to the system. So we're going to click below the whistle, and it goes to the dialog screen. Now you're going to give this a couple of seconds to load. Some people might close it a little too early, but as you can see, it only takes a few seconds to load. So this is the receiver section. It's the place where you choose the context of your submission, which is how we organize how we connect journalists to the system. So that's just a drop-down box, and you can see there's a number of different contexts which you can choose. For today, for this demonstration, we're going to choose political corruption, and we have a special journalist on board for the purposes of this demo, Mr. Journalist. As you can see, under the political corruption context, which is here, we also have Bernard Keane and Richard Baker, two fantastic journalists. Now, if you wanted to make your submission to all of these, you can do that by selecting them all, and I've just done that now. However, for the purpose of the demo, we're only going to choose Mr. Journalist, so I'm going to unselect Richard Baker and Bernard Keane. As you know, note there's a couple of icons here which are relevant. This one here says the receiver has configured the encryption key. One of the integrative security methods we use is we take a encryption key from journalists and we integrate it into the system, and the files which are uploaded are secured or encrypted using the journalist's personal encryption key, and they only have the password to that, so they are very secure. So we've chosen Mr. Journalist, and we've chosen the context political corruption, and we're going to click next, and it asks us to fill out the submission. Now, this is really important step in the submission process. It says enter the information that is relevant to your submission and possibly upload the relevant accompanying files. So as journalists are really busy people, it's really important that you provide targeted information so that they can get across your submission really quickly and understand what it is you're wanting to reveal. So I've created a couple of test files over here, a test file 1 and a test file 2. One is a Word document and the other is a PDF. I've created these for the purpose of this demonstration, and I'm just going to go through the process of describing the submission. So the short title is Test Submission, and the full description is 2 test files containing nothing at all. Obviously, I've described it fairly accurately because there is nothing in those 2 files, but you may want to go into some detail as to what it is you're actually disclosing. The files is relevant to the actual 2 files, so I'm going to put in 1 Word document containing nothing and 1 PDF file containing nothing. And I'm going to add those 2 files by clicking on Add Files. And so I go to test file 1 and I just double click it and it quickly adds it. Now there usually is a status bar here, so if I had a file which was say 100 meg, it's going to take a while to upload that. You notice that that just uploaded very, very quickly. That's not always going to be the case. If you're going to upload a file which is of significant size, say 20 or 30 meg, it might take 10 or 15 minutes. It might take 10 minutes at the most. So you've got to make preparations for that, and just be patient. Go and make a tea or coffee and come back and check that it's progress. So I'm going to add the second file, which is the test file 2, and you'll probably quickly see it flash up. Yep, went really quickly then, and you notice that it's uploaded. Okay, so we've uploaded the 2 files and we're going to click Next. So this is the final step, and it's a very important one. We ask that people read this information very, very carefully. It goes through a number of issues. One is that it just makes sure again that you're using the Tor browser bundle, which we've showed you how to download and install, and we're using it right now. It also goes over our terms and conditions. Now it's really important that people read this before they agree to it. If you don't agree to it, then you should abandon your submission. I know I've read it many times, so I'm going to click Agree, and then we click Submit. Okay, so the submission has been created, and this is a receipt. It's a tip receipt. So through the system, receivers will be able to ask questions, and you'll be able to write updates and supply new files if you like. So what I'm going to do is, here is a unique 16-digit number. I'm going to copy it. You may want to write this down somewhere, and you may want to write down the date and time. However, that's up to you, and I'll show you why that's relevant in 2 seconds. So I'm going to copy it and paste it in this box, and I'm going to click View Tip. So here we are, and we've this is the tip status page, and this is the whistleblowers interface. So as you note here is the submission date and the expiration date. And that's at 2 weeks from today, exactly the same time. You also got an access counter, so this is how many times the journalist has tried to access the files, and then you can tell whether they've actually been in to look at it. And the description here. Now, if you've forgotten something, or for example, the journalist asks you to clarify something, you can add general comments. So I might say, forgot to add, there is no dice. And as you can see, my little message has shown up. Now that'll be visible to all the journalists if you've selected multiple. However, you wish to correspond with them privately, you can click on the drop down box over to the right, Mr. Journalist, and say, hey mate, just letting you know thanks for the apples. Send a private message. And there you go, it's shown up in that dialog box, and you can see that it is a whistleblower, completely anonymous. Now if I, as I'll show you in a second, so there you go, that's the basic functions of the tip status page. And if you wanted to return here at some later point, so you finished with what you were doing, you just go up to the top of the tips status page and click log out. And it'll take us back to the front page. Now, if you return here again to the submission platform and you go down to the bottom of the page, the question, are you a whistleblower? And enter your receipt. So if I've copied and pasted that receipt number, that 16-digit number. I'm just going to paste it in there again, and there it is. And I'm going to click a view tip. And so once again, it loads up, and it's going to take a moment to load, and there it is again. It's loaded up. So you may have a message waiting, and it may say, hey, there's page 17 missing from the test file 2 from Mr. Journalist. And go back to those dialogue. There it is again. And you may want to add another file. I don't have another file to add, so I'll just add the same file as I did before. But just for the purposes of this demonstration, as you can see, you can always add additional files. Okay, and that doesn't create a new submission. You can still access it through the same number. So just once again, we'll log out, go back down here, go back in, view tip, and give it a couple of seconds to load. And there we go. There's the third file. It gives you the date and whatnot. Anyway, okay, so that's how you make a submission using MediaDirect and the Tor browser. So we're just going to close that for a moment. I'll open up this again, and I'll show you how what happens if you don't want to download the Tor browser. You can click this link. So I'll just go back here for a second. It's via a normal web browser, so that's whatever, Safari, Internet Explorer, or whatever. If you're stupid enough to use that, excuse my language. But yeah, well, anyway, we can go back to this page. So it just opened up that link. This is Tor to Web. It's basically an interface between the Tor network and our submission platform. So I'm going to close that header because it's not really necessary. And you notice how in the other it says congratulations. It's a bit of a celebratory thing. It says you were using Tor. With a non-Tor browser, it's going to give you this notification, and it's going to give you a link to download the Tor browser by clicking there, and it opens up the Tor website again. But I'll close that. So you can go through exactly the same thing, except it's going to give you this little bit of a quiz, and I'm not going to answer this for you, but you've got to guess the right one. And if you do that, it'll proceed to the same submission platform. But we advise against using this. Everyone should use the Tor browser bundle.